Hello, this video is another part of the series of some editor training videos that I made. Um, so in this video I'll be showing you some more useful InDesign tricks that you can do when designing your page. So here I have a page and open, and it's from the master template, and I'll be using this as my example. So the first thing I want to talk about is fonts. If you notice, fonts, the headline fonts are generally used kind of consistent, but they don't have to be consistent. For example, this one uses Myriad Pro, and you can see the font name here, and regular, and this is where the size can be adjusted. This determines the distance between lines, and this determines the kind of alignment method it has. So this one's not a very good example, but like this one, yeah. Articles are left aligned justified, and basically what it does is it makes the paragraph formatting look nice, but at the same time justifying left. So articles are written in Arno Pro 10-point font, and if you're designing news, you can just look at what fonts these are here. So basically, fonts appear up in this panel up here. And if you want to go to paragraph settings, you would go here. And this would have some more options. And the only one that you really need to worry about is, first off, make sure that it's hyphenated. So if a word is not finished, like this literature honors class, it will, if I didn't hyphenate it, it would end like this, and it might make the paragraph look a little weird. So all articles are hyphenated, and actually, the indentation is supposed to be 1.5 pikas. So I never mentioned pikas before, but I guess I'll explain them right now. A pika is a form of measurement made by Adobe, and if you have, if you've ever gone to the end of an article, such as this one, you'll notice that, first off, this goes within the article itself. So within this text box, this little black box goes here, and if you examine the dimensions of this box, it's half by half pikas. So a general design guideline is to make everything 1 pika apart, and a good way to do this is just to make a box and use it as a guideline. So you'll notice that the template actually already has pika spacing conveniently made for you. But a good way to just check is to create one of these boxes. And if you see here, the pika boxes rule was not really honored. This picture is a little bit too big. There you go. So things like that you should watch out for. Also the bylines. The bylines distances are up to the editor. I believe Opinions has a thinner one than Lifestyles, and News has one about in between, but it's up to you as long as you make them consistent. Also, notice that as I'm about to delete this box, I have the correct selection method deleting it. I'm deleting the entire frame and not just the black content inside. Okay, colors. So suppose I wanted to make a placeholder frame because I don't have a picture here yet. I would make a rectangular frame, but I don't have a picture yet. Or if I just want to fill this with a color of some sort. This is when colors come in handy. And to do this, you go to swatches, and you can choose a color that will define the swatch. If you want a new color, usually by default, InDesign doesn't have too many swatches available, so you press New Swatch, you double click, and it'll let you select the color value. Another way to edit the value, the color, is to double click here, and this will give you a different kind of color picker. Yeah, And if you notice, actually, this is a CMYK. By default, you should always stick with CMYK colors because our publisher likes that kind of image better. It's a little bit complicated, but just use CMYK. Okay, so if I wanted to make a border around this, this is using something called stroke, and it's just like the lines, actually. If you notice when I make a line, it has a default stroke value of 1 point. I can find out here. And a line is basically a frame without any area inside. So if you think about a rectangle as the same thing as a line, but it has area, you can fill the area color, and then you can also fill the stroke color. So I can increase the stroke, and if I change the color of the stroke here, that would create a border. And strokes can also be applied to other things as well. For non-rectangle objects, I can't seem to find one right now, but strokes also work there. And finally, there's something called arranging. If you've ever played with PowerPoint, I think, you can actually place stuff on top of other things. So let me give a brief demonstration of that right now. Suppose I have this fish on top of this mouse here, and I want the mouse to be on top of the fish. What I do is I right-click the fish, and I say arrange, send backward, and I keep on doing this. Repeat, etc. There's a keyboard shortcut for that. Or I can just send it all the way to the back, and the mouse would cover the fish. So that's arranging, and arranging is important because sometimes you want to have a image on top of another one, or maybe like these black lines. You want to make sure this is on top and not behind this blue thing where you can't see it. So that's it. Thanks.